thank you all so much for being here. I snuck in this morning, so I haven't met anyone, but come find me afterwards. And right now, we're gonna get into my fabulous presentation called Single Pringle, what it's like to be financially single even though I'm booed up. I use a lot of slang. Yeah. Get into it. I have a couple of quick questions before we get into this. Who here is a single Pringle? If you, yeah, great.
Like not married, is that what you're saying?
No, I've got a couple. I just mean you're dating. You're on the prowl. You're on Tinder. You're swiping right. Like, that's what you're doing. And then who's financially single? Maybe you're booed up. Maybe you're in a relationship, but you're not sharing money. Anyone? Okay, I am. That's gonna be a lot of this. So. And then who here is married or in a partnership, a committed partnership? Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, we're gonna explore a whole bunch of stuff, but let's move to the next slide. How do I make it happen?
Is the right arrow number?
Is it on? Oh. Well, we're gonna stay at this slide forever. I can do the whole presentation from memory. I can't.
It's on there. Is it the USB plugged in?
It's working a second.
It was working. Do I have to be pointing?
I don't know if you had to. It's getting power.
We can always.
Let me just sit back here and hit next.
Okay, well, we're experiencing some technical difficulties, as you can tell. Oh, great, that's me. Oh, okay, cool, let's try it. Yeah, there I am. I'm also here in real life, but I'm also here. So I'm Perez. I am the founder of a company called Bravely Go, which does financial education for women. We're based in Austin, Texas. So if you're an Austinite, would love to chat. I also have a podcast called The Fairer Sense. Our tagline is Women, Money, and the Fight to Break Even. I do that with Tanya Hester, who I'm sure many of you know. She has the blog Our Next Life and the book Work Optional. And a little bit about me and my journey to money. So I am actually an English major, liberal arts. Liberal arts? No? Yeah, okay, I see you. So I graduated college. I went to Wesleyan University, which is where Michael Bay went, so not a big deal, it's huge. And I got a degree in English. Actually, specifically critical race theory, because I was like, you know what? Let's talk about it. And then I graduated with $25,000 in student loan debt in 2011, and everyone in the world was like, we don't want to talk about it. No jobs for you. So I spent the first 3 years out of college waiting tables. And it was fine. Guess what you don't do when you're waiting tables? Make a lot of money. So my first 3 years out of college, I made $15,000. A little over 16 the second year, and $18,000 the third year, which really felt like the big time. It was incredible. But then also, it was the worst because I had all this student loan debt, and I was living in Austin, which at the time was not as expensive as it is now, but like prices were going up, and I was seeing all my friends do things like get promotions or travel or like get married, and I was like, cool, I'm over here with my ramen, straight chillin', and my 2009 like Kia Rio, getting my oil changed once a year because I can't afford to do it more than that. But in 2014, I had my quarter life crisis. June 2014 was a rough month for me. It was rough, but that's when I had my financial come to Jesus moment. And I started reading all the blogs. I'm sure many of you have similar stories. And I got really serious about trying to figure out how to pay off debt. And I paid off my last $18,000 in student loans in 10 months, working 5 part-time side hustles. I've never had a job. I mean, I have a job now, but I've never had a real job, air quotes. I've never had a salary. I've never had a 401k. I've never had benefits. So, but that same year, 2015, I maxed out my IRA, which was $5,500 at the time. And I just was like, I love money, let's talk about it. And then I started Bravely, where we do events talking to women about money, as well as online programming. And this last sentence here, learning about money changed my whole life, really is the truth. So I am financially single, but I am not ready to mingle because of this man right here. This is me and my boo. Isn't he so cute? Oh my God. So my partner, we call him T-Bone. We keep him somewhat secretive. On the podcast, we call him T-Bone. On my blog, I call him T-Bone. He is not on the internet. He has no internet presence, and he's like a shy little introvert. So we try to protect his privacy. But now I'm going to tell you our love story. So when we met, it was 2014, which, as you remember, difficult year for me. But before we hit June, it was March. It was South by Southwest. It was 85 degrees, and I was like, yes. We go on our first date. It's not love at first sight, but it is love at like third date. I was making $18,000 that year. He was making $24,000. He was working as a tutor in one of the middle schools in town. And he had $60,000 in student loan debt, and I had about $18,500 at that point in student loans. I have my financial awakening in June, and he's like, "You go, boo. I'm so excited for you. I will be in debt forever." He literally said that to me in the kitchen of the house. Then I was like, "What? No, you won't. I'm reading this amazing blog called Dear Debt. Melanie's doing it. You can do it, blah, blah." And he was like, "Nah." Flash forward, I pay off all my debt. And he's like, "Great, I'm so proud of you." We went, who here is from Austin? Anyone an Austinite? Okay, the bar Shangri-La on the east side. The day I paid off all my student loans, I went to Shangri-La and just got hammered and was like running around the bar being like, I'm debt free. And everyone was really nice. It was really, really fun. T-Bone actually like hid in the corner of the bar and was being real weird. And I went up to him and was like, "Listen, if you can't be happy for me, you need to leave." And he was all, "I am happy for you, but it just feels like really far away from what I'm able to do. I have $60,000 in debt. I'm making at this point he was making $26,000. And so our relationship progresses. It's totally fine. He stayed. He managed to get a little smile on his face. We've been together 5.5 years. We've lived together for 3 years. We are very much so in a committed partnership, but we do not share any money. Venmo plays heavily into my relationship. Why? Why don't we share any money? Let's talk about it. T-Bone is not super into FI. He thinks it's like a really quaint idea. And the longer we've been together, the more he realizes it is possible, but it has been a long, arduous journey to get him to believe in the magic of FI. He still has debt. He's got his final $10K in student loans. I don't. I've been debt-free since 2015, have stayed out of any and all debt. We were super broke when we got together. $18K, $24K, not a lot of money. Frankly, I don't want to compromise any of my financial goals for a boy or a girl, but like anyone. I am not willing to compromise. Saving at a really high rate is really important to me. Investing really aggressively is really important to me. I design my whole lifestyle around hitting my financial goals, and if we shared money, that would be compromised. But, spoiler alert, when it comes to love, money isn't everything. And here's a fabulous GIF over here. I don't need a man. I don't need anyone to, I don't know what that says. I'm fine by myself. Okay. So here's my plan for FI. I am not one of those FI bloggers that has 19,000 spreadsheets and a really intense plan. Mine is vague at best. I know what my FI number is. I do have my FI spreadsheet. I do run my calculations, but I'm an entrepreneur. I work for myself. My income fluctuates monthly. I save as much as possible, and I live that frugal life and that passive income life, but I am also not one of those financial bloggers that makes $100,000 a month off of my blog. So I'm very much so middle income. And so my FI plan right now, I'm 31. I hope to be FI by 45. So it's a long road for me. Long, what is long, really? But this all plays into my relationship. I think if I was super nerdy about FI, which it's totally cool if you guys are, this is not a dig, I would have a different type of relationship. But since I don't, it's really great for us, or since I'm not rather, it's really great for my current relationship with my partner who was like, FI, maybe, can it be a real thing? And I'm like, yes, you've met Tanya. Also, the hope and dream is that I will become Oprah. Like, she my girl. Maybe someday we'll hang out and I'll just take her crown. It's fine. So this is the big question I get from a lot of people. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people judge my relationship. Hard, because we don't share money. And people think that if we're actually really committed to each other, if we're actually really committed to building a life together, we should merge all things all the time. I strongly disagree with that for a variety of reasons. Not just that I'm living a really fabulous life with a really fabulous partner where we don't share money, but also people come into all sorts of different relationships with a lot of different baggage, right? I mean, emotionally, but also financially. And there can be a lot of things that you really want to do that your partner may not be able to do or might not want to do. That's fine. As long as you're communicating well about it and as long as you're able to both be happy and fulfilled, I don't think it needs to be 100% all in. If that all works for you, great. But I actually just got back from, what day is today? Saturday? I got back from Scotland on Wednesday, where I spent 3 months away from T-Bone. I was like, listen, I'm gonna go to Europe. And he was like, cool, I can't. And I was like, great, I'm still gonna go. Love him so much, I really, really do. But I have been low income for a lot of my life. I hadn't been to Europe since I was 16 when my mom took me to England. And I wanted to go to Italy. I got invited to this super fabulous wedding in England, and then Scotland's like right there. So I was like, I'm gonna just go. And it was amazing. It was awesome. And just because my partner couldn't come with me didn't mean that I wasn't gonna go. I went with my best friend who actually introduced me and T-Bone to Italy. And then I went to this crazy wedding at a manor. I mean, it was like, these people are not FI. You know, they were like, we're going hard on this wedding. And then Kate Flanders, who I think some of you might know, and I went to Scotland and drove around Scotland for 8 days and saw so many sheep. And I was like, this is an experience that I never would have been able to have had if T-Bone and I combined money, because our focus would be paying down his debt, right? Like if T-Bone and I shared a bank account and he had 10 grand in debt, which he does, I'd be like, we are emptying the bank account to pay off that debt, because I hate debt. I really, really do. So, all of this. Does not sharing money mean my FI plan is doomed? No, I don't think so. 2 incomes do get you to FI a hell of a lot faster. That is why I am on this medium slow path to FI. I'm a middle class earner and an entrepreneur. Money can vary a lot month to month. And so that means, frankly, so when I paid off all my debt, I was very much so one of those people that was like, cool, now I'm at 0. Like, I didn't have any assets. I don't have any financial, like family support. I don't have generational wealth. And so I needed to spend the next 4 years. I paid off my debt when I was 27. I spent the next 4 years really putting financial stability under myself, investing really aggressively, building a year's worth of savings in my emergency fund. I couldn't do those things if T-Bone and I were sharing money. I just couldn't. And that was really important to me, because now I'm over here. There's this Archimedes quote that I think about all the time. Give me one firm spot on which to stand and I will move the world. And that's how I feel right now. I'm like, I built my firm spot. I finally took me 4 years, but I did it. And now I'm ready to move the world. And if that means finances in my relationship begin to change, awesome. But guess what? If we had been sharing money this past 4 years, things would have been bad. I would have been so stressed. Women live longer, healthcare is a nightmare, and inflation is real, as we just learned. And all of this means I need a lot of money for FI. So again, I don't want to compromise on my FI goal by sharing money. Oh, we were so close. Oh, also, this is us in Canada. Oh, I forgot about the pictures on the far side because I can really only see the words. That's Banff. Really strongly suggest you go, which we might just stay here. So close. Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Oh my God, good to know.
Austin to Calgary, so nonstop now on WestJet, like 3 times a week. Wow. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, same picture, different words. So I ran out of cute pictures for us. I was like, ugh, we only have so much. I think we were on the Golden Gate Bridge earlier. But so FI can look different for different people. I think that this is really a conversation that's beginning to develop more and more in the FI world, which I'm super excited about, because I think the original narrative of FI was really limited. And I'm very much so part of the wave of like, hey, do what works for you. Find your own path, make it work for you. So yeah, the dominant FI narrative can feel really, really exclusive. I'm part of that. Oh, great. We are living a fairly unusual life, and that means unusual money. Yeah, we are living a really unusual life, and happy to go into details of that one-on-one. But I strongly believe that in order to get more people to FI, which I think is a goal that we probably all share in this room, we really need to be way more flexible with what we're allowing those narratives to be and how we're encouraging people to get there. So that's why I pop around the country and give this presentation being like, I'll share money with my boo, it's fine. So how am I protecting my FI plan? Because I am. We put a lot of stock in upfront direct communication. I definitely am a really verbal, assertive communicator. And like on our 6th date, we're out I have a Kia Rio, he has a Kia Sorento, I think, which is the one like right above, both of these little 2 red Kias. And we went out and looked at the stars, and I was like, tell me how much debt you have. Wait, let's talk about it. And he was like, let's talk about the Pixies. And I was like, I don't listen to the Pixies, talk about your debt. And then like our sixth date, I was like, do you invest? I haven't started investing yet. Or that was 6th. 6th was debt. 7th was investing. We just talk about it a lot. Literally the other day, I come back from Europe, right? And I'm like, let's talk about your savings accounts. Haven't seen you in 3 months. What's up with that? And he was like, I love you so much. I was like, I know, boo. Anyway, so upfront direct communication. I know where all of T-Bone's money is. Every single dollar he has, I know what savings account it's in, what investing account it's in, and how much he has in debt. He literally just logs on and lets me look at it. And I'm like, here, get out of the way, let me see. And I do the same for him. I show him my business accounts. He knows how much I have in the Bravely Go accounts, how much it costs me to run my business each month. He knows how much I have in my savings, my investments, everything. We put it all out on the table. And I think honestly, that is what a lot of people should be really more aiming for. Rather than we have to have these same accounts, we need to have really strong, really clear, really respectful communication about these accounts. So we are also living the lifestyle that allows me to save at a high rate. I'm not gonna lie, maybe you can tell, I'm very chatty, I'm very outgoing, I'm an extrovert. T-Bone's a shy introvert. I'm definitely the dominant personality in the relationship. He has so much freedom. I'm not like keeping him like caged up somewhere, but I'm very clear about what I want, and I put it in front of him, and I'm like, here's what's up. Do you have any amendments you want to make to this or any objections? Most of the time he's like, nah, that's cool. We live in Central Austin with a roommate so that we have low rent. We don't own property. I have this 2009 Kia Rio. I hate it. It's here. I want to like burn it down one day, but I'm going to drive it into the ground. I'm not going to get a new car. We will probably become a 1-car household eventually because I'm so sick of paying for car insurance on this piece of crap. But all these clothes are from a clothing swap. We live a really low cost lifestyle, which allows me to funnel money into my FI plan, and T-Bone knows that. Does this mean our love is doomed? Oh, here we are at also, if you want tips on how to take an incredible photo in a giant hat, I can really help you out with that. Does this mean our love is doomed? We're at Crater Lake here. No, it does not. Our love is not doomed. Honestly, not to get political, but Trump could blow us all up by the end of this slide, so who even knows what's happening? I definitely take a little bit of a YOLO approach to my money. Just spent 3 months traveling. And nothing stresses me out more than comparing myself to others. And I think in the finance world, where we can see people's spreadsheets and net worths and incomes, it's so easy to think like, oh, well, I'm not, so-and-so making so much money or saving so much money, or I'm not, like, I follow a lot of travel bloggers on my personal Instagram. And there's definitely a trend in the travel blogger world where it's these like beautiful straight couples who are like, he's my business partner and my lover and my best friend, and we spend 24 hours every single day together. And I'm like, I would murder T-Bone 1,000%. But it also makes me think, like, is that what love looks like? Is that the ultimate relationship, that we should be able to spend all our time endlessly together? Raise your hand if you think that's love, because I really want to talk to you about it, because I just can't do it. So I really try not to compare my FI plan or my relationship to others. It's just not something that works for me. All it does is stress me out. I suggest you don't do it either. Yeah, all those damn travel bloggers. I really think that I'm in a remarkable relationship. I also think I'm in a remarkable financial position and in a place to grow that even further. T-Bone and I share so many other things besides finances. You've seen slides, on these slides, you've seen photos of us on all these different locations around the world. Travel is a huge thing for us. We actually did see each other over the 3 months. We went to Maine together. It was fabulous. This is us at a wedding in New Hampshire. We love dancing. If you invite us to your wedding, we will dominate the dance floor. Not well, just like aggressively. We just take up a lot of space on the dance floor. So love is about more than money. And a lot of FI bloggers really only share part of the truth, whether that comes to their finances or their relationship. I'm not taking a shot at FI bloggers. This is a lot of people. People want to show us the best, the highlights, right? Again, I'm someone who hops onto my Instagram stories being like, I haven't showered in 3 days and I'm not wearing a bra. Let's talk about your investments, and I just think it works for me. It's something I'm really comfortable with, and it's something I think we need more of. And I think it's the same with our relationships. It's totally okay to admit that T-Bone loves Radiohead. He thinks they're geniuses. And I'm like, if I was in Guantanamo, they would play Radiohead to torture me, it's just, it's not for me. It's not for me. It's okay if it's for you. And every time he puts it on when we go on a road trip, I'm like, I do this because I love you, not because I love this music. It's okay, we fight about Radiohead. For me, life and love is about so much more than money. So like I said, we have all these shared values in common. We have an incredible respect for each other, and we enjoy spending time together. And I think that's really what our relationship's about. So here we are voting at HEB in Austin. So we share values, lifestyle choices, a sense of humor, and a lot of love. We don't need to share money right now or possibly ever. Really, the thesis statement of this presentation is don't put your dreams on hold because of the dominant narrative. And really, you can apply that to any part of your life, but I strongly recommend applying it to your romantic life. Questions about my love life or my money? Let's get into it. Oh, here we are in Maine. Oh, this was this August. We found these weird boulders, and I was like, picture. So that's the end. Yeah, okay.